Nah, that was just chance.
True. Solos doesn't mean anything, hey. Solos is irrelevant.
Yeah, we only
Well, that's
care about
good because
triples.
I'm not very good at solos.
The ultimate game format. Anyone who wants triples is
I'm actually reasonable
elite.
at triples. Triples Elim. We played it quite a bit here.
Yeah, you guys love your eliminations and worlds and stuff in New
Popeyes
Zealand.
in particular was trying to sort of encourage it because I think he likes it. It's a very different game type, and it rewards patience.
Yeah, we played it for, was it Darwin triples? The triples limb?
There's been variations of Elim and triples for a while.
Yeah. And that
You
was a
know.
pretty good fun format. We actually played it though on Nexus for one of the pre-nats. Oh, that was so good. So much better than like playing it on the Helios Nats one. Just like, it was so fun.
So it looks like we've got Traitor's waving green camera. We've got Space Groove on green, Lit on Dysfunctional, sorry, on blue, and Nameless is on red.
Who are we favouring?
I'm kind of rooting for Space Groove, but who knows?
I'm not liking the strategies they've been pulling off, but
Well, there's not a lot you can do when you're stuck with 4 players, I think.
it is true. I feel bad for Dysfunctional getting 3 games in a row here. I want to see how their legs favour them.
Let's see how their stamina's holding up.
Yeah. If I know a laser tag player, it's not correct.
It's interesting, right? How, and I don't know the answer, but in this kind of Ascension format, teams get so little time to prepare for the next game, even though they're the most important games that they play in the whole comp.
Yeah, they really had 2 minutes or so to talk about it.
Yeah, and you don't know who you're playing in the next game because it's pending results. Like, it's so difficult to prepare. Whereas in round robin, like
you've got like multiple games between your game.
And you've got hours to cool down, get your head together, talk about the next game. Whereas these guys are just like, all right, you're back in. It's like it's an endurance battle.
Bit of endurance, and it's also like you just kind of have to have like a strategy that you normally play, and just got to go and execute it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You can't really plan
maybe you've already sort of found strategies or thought about strategies that you can use against different teams, and you just implement ones for whoever you're playing with.
Well, the map's working.
Yay!
Let's go. Everything is at green base.
Yep.
I feel
we found that's happened
right?
a lot, where red and blue rather converge on green and just sort of they all meet in the middle.
Yeah, this is pretty normal where everyone's just fighting at green, and green's like hiding inside their base.
Yeah.
Like
looks like Gumby's going for his red rather.
I suppose it's such a huge commitment for blue or red in the early game to just go all the way to the other base. Yeah,
all the way to the other side of the maze.
Yeah.
Whereas you can just, at the start of the game, you can all sort of push towards the middle and then set up like a perimeter almost, or a push defense.
So, have we seen,
like 2 blues sneaking into red?
Yeah, they're powering through into there. But Moldy's come over to see what's coming.
I really like that play.
It looks like Space Groove have decided to stay and defend this game rather than dump.
I think that's a smart play. If you've got less players and everyone comes to you at the start, there's a lot of field points on offer. You can sort of try to slow the game down, I guess.
And being in the middle of the maze, they may have a wee advantage for getting a little bit of extra pack points.
Yeah, and that they can push to either base with 2 and sort of have a bit of support from a third defender without committing to the opposite side of the arena. Without background information on the maze and how everything's playing, I think giving Space Groove green, Dysfunctional selecting blue with the first choice might be a tactical error.
Well, they seem to be going through their reds reasonably well.
Functional got 4 bases real quick, so they're at least pretty happy with the state of the
feeling
game at
pretty
the moment.
comfortable. Yeah.
The Nameless are really falling behind. They can't just... It seems like the attack hasn't really been able to find anything. They've now
they've
got
got
4
four
players
of them
at
are
blue.
at blue. It looks like they're giving it their all, I think.
It's an interesting strategy because they've already lost their base 3 times. Like, it's not
Yeah, so
end of the
they're sort
world.
of giving it up to blue, and they'll just try to take some of those bases back.
It's almost kind of working in green's favour a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
well, Moldy's coming around and is basically watching red base by himself. So he'll be getting
Nitro's
a lot of
solo
pack.
defending red.
With some help from Moldy, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Nobody's happy to help.
Moldy's
Take any tag
smashing it.
lessons?
Moldy's smashing it too. 250% tag ratio. 7.5k already. 3.5k off the gun, only a few minutes into the game.
We're only 7k behind a team that has 3 more bases, so that's a 5k pack lead.
And another player. It's pretty big.
Looks like red might finally get a base out of blue, or was that a deny?
Oh, it looks like...
That looks like a deny.
Yeah, Nitro denied Sphinx.
Oh, we got Big Boss Dog was denied at blue base.
That's a big boss dog. We've seen a lot of denies on him today.
Poor guy.
Feel bad, I don't want to call him out anymore.
I think he is relatively new to competitive laser tag, though, I believe.
Yeah, and that's kind of the joy I was saying before. We've got all these new players that we see in the States, or New Zealand. I guess it's not a state, but when we watch these state / New Zealand comps, you don't see all the same names you see at Zultak. You see all these names that you've never seen before, and you kind of watch, and you're like, actually, they look like they might become pretty good.
That's the best part about it, hey? You see a name you've never seen before, and they just solo a base off, a couple of decent defenders.
Red has finally picked up a blue base. Paxo getting it. And it looked like Deeka was serving his bait as Goofy ran in and shot at Deeka while Paxo took his last shot in the base.
Yeah, I did see that. It seemed like they kind of confused the defenders a little bit.
Yeah, just sort of bait the defender into shooting them rather than the person actually taking the base.
Yeah, which is always a good strategy when the shot rate's slower. Because once you've shot,
I've done that a few times. It's a legitimate strategy. To try sort of protect your attacking player a little bit.
Dysfunctional.
Kind of slowed down a lot.
Yeah, it has. Dysfunctional are in control, but I certainly wouldn't say that they're safe.
Your green is still defending quite hard, and if they decide to push out...
I'm actually really curious what's happening at red, because there's been only Nitro defending it for a very long time.
Looks like Traitor's coming in, and he's taking the base now. He's just come in and picked that up.
They're kind of they've only taken, or maybe they've taken red 3 times. Blue, but I feel like they've just been there for so long and have not finished.
Yeah, Gumby and Sphinx have been around there for a while. I think he's been trying to... I think Nitro knows that Sphinx needs, and has sort of been on their case. And it looks like Moldy's sent over to Gora to have a go.
So do you think Gumby shouldn't be here then? It should be Lycan?
I think... perhaps,
Lycan needs the base.
Because Gumby's already got it, yeah. But now Sphinx has just picked it up, they might go home.
I just feel like that cost them a long time. That was not efficient at all. But now they've really run away. They still have, 7k lead. Coming into the final. We've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, I like strategically. I do like what Space Groove have done. I think they've sort of tried to do the most with what they've got. Playing out of green with 4, you have to. You have to, right? I just can't see another option. And you can kind of control. You can push into blue or push into red and prevent massive. Prevent a 28 base game or whatever it works out to be.
And it's been really good of them to actually keep track of the other bases, because you see that red has been pretty quiet, and so they've sent one green person over at a time to pick up their red base without wasting, I guess, other resources.
Yeah.
You see there's there's one of each colour at red base at the moment, so Tagoro's going to try run around and get in. Goofy knows that he needs, so he's going to try defend that base as well, I suppose. Not sure what Goofy's up to, but
Is this game double knockout? I think it is.
yeah.
Oh,
He might be trying to keep Tagoro from getting it, but it looks like he'll... Oh, what's happening here?
Or was shot it.
I think he one shot. Denied.
Blue just got the read to control the whole arena.
Yeah. Blue are going to run away with it.
It looks like... No, he's got stunned and then denied again.
I think it's really unlucky that this is a double knockout game, because in a single knockout game, Space Groove have played it perfectly, given their circumstances.
Yeah.
But being double knockout, it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
There's a lot of excitement green base at the moment. Look at the camera. Insomnia going for his green. He picks that up.
Yeah, I feel bad for Red. They've really not been able to find anything. They've had a lot of players attacking, and they just feel like they've ran into the brick wall, which might be 4 eyes at Blue for most of this game, or a 4-man defense of Green.
The Space Groove is catching up to Dysfunctional.
Oh wow, yeah, it is very close now.
It's getting really close, and if they can pick up another base or so, they'll overtake them. They're pretty comparable on pack score.
I actually don't know how they got another blue base. That's pretty impressive. So really, Jam Man should be able to go get red at some point.
Hopefully.
That will give them a lead. So that's really... Jam Man goes and gets the empty red.
So mostly it's dysfunctional that needs green base, so they'll come back to green. And it looks like red's there as well, so there's a lot of action at green. So hopefully green is getting a lot more pack points. Oh, actually looks like all of green has gone back to blue.
Go to red. Please. Just go to red. Please. Don't listen to your teammates. They don't know what they're doing. Go to red and shoot it.
Jam Man is the newest player on that team.
Nitro's just hanging around. Bit of a deterrent. I mean,
Tagoro's shooting blue. Yeah.
Oh, did he get it?
No, I think he got denied.
They're too far out.
He has
Dysfunctional are going to move on.
Yeah, blue
has A
got bases in this time. Yeah, he already has red. He got denied there.
I just didn't say. Well, it was a good game though, but it looks like a good effort from Space Groove and the Nameless.
At least you can say you moved up a spot in your knockout game for Space Groove over Nameless. They'll put Nameless getting eliminated at 9th position. Coming in from the round robin in 10th, they actually might not be too upset about that, being able to go up a spot. And then Space Groove being eliminated at 8, not being able to play to their full potential, only with 4 players, but on the bright side, they don't have to play with 4 anymore.
That's true.
That's true. They can relax now. So
the next game, though, everyone can prep for.
Yeah, we got a fresh game. Lit, legalized snake takes, and troubled shooters.
Yep. So they've chosen the colours according to the spreadsheet. So letters on red, legalized sneak takes on blue, and troubled shooters is on green. It appears that green seems to be the least favourite base. Always picked last.
Yeah, you can see Space Groove actually did pick green in the last one when they had their second pick. Probably for that strategy.
They might have recognised that they could get a lot of pack points, which is what they were after.
I think playing with 4 green is a good decision, and unfortunately double knockout, which we don't see in most comps. I rate it. I like what they did. It didn't pay off, but they were versing a good team, and they had 4 players, so you can't really knock them for that.
Definitely.
Solid effort.
I don't think green is as bad as the teams are picking it, though. I think it's actually my gut feeling is it's actually probably better than they're giving it credit for, but you need more time to learn it. So in the Nationals, you'll find green might become way better towards the end.
Yeah,
I
totally agree.
At the start, they hate it.
Yeah, at face value, I looked at it and went, I'd like green. I'd like green, I haven't played
Like,
laser
oh,
tag for 2
green's
years, but
stuck
like
in the middle.
if I look at a map, then it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, and if you had high-level teams, imagine how much they're just like, I have so many people to shoot and control this part of the arena
Yeah.
and hold
I
pretty
feel
good
like from
defense.
green you could dictate the game a bit, like you influence. Like
Yeah.
if you aggressively go to one, either red or blue, it really influences the game more so.
Yeah. It can also maybe be a little bit harder to defend because it is in the middle and you just end up with more traffic.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where teams are going away from it because they haven't had enough
Yeah.
time.
People are a bit
to
nervous
get
because they
familiar.
get all the traffic and they're just like, okay, we're just going to get inundated with other teams.
I think it just means a different structure, right? Like it sort of reminds me of Red at Darwin, where it's just a denial fest. You kind of lean into the chaos. Don't defend it the traditional way.
Yeah.
Let people into the base, and then let the other team deny them,
Let the
and
other
then
team
and then
deny them.
you clean it up. You have to incentivize it. I don't think Green would defend like a traditional base. One or two inside, no one comes in. I think you have to make people ask questions about, oh, do I really want to put shots in? There's a lot happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, you
that's
want to
what
control the chaos.
most players, I guess, in New Zealand sort of want to play with people under the base at home, defending it, rather than just sort of not having anybody inside and relying on denies. So maybe Green's less popular because it requires a different strategy.
Well, I just think that if I'm red or blue, and I walk over to blue, and there's 3 people inside the base, and then I go to green, and there's green have decided to just put 2 defenders outside. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to green. But then blue would do the same thing, and green just kind of like try and shore everything up.
Mm.
I think it's just a different way. There's a million ways to skin a cat. I wouldn't try to defend green in the traditional sense.
Yeah, for sure. And it looks like Lit already has a base. They've taken green.
I think Ace is about to try green. He's gone into the pocket. Kind of waiting because I think there's a couple of green players.
Yeah, there's a couple of green players at the door there that I think he's sort of waiting for. You see Minty at that door there, so he's baiting Minty. I think he stunned Minty, and he was.
Oh, he got tagged.
Oh no!
Oh, unlucky. Unlucky. Green have committed to blue, but blue are defending with 4. They've collapsed back.
See, I quite like what Green have done here because often when I've watched them, they don't like push the other team back, and that's why they're kind of losing a lot. Is they kind of give up their ground and they get stuck. You can see this Green, they've kind of accepted that Red's going to push on them, and they've played accordingly to make it really hard for them. And then they pushed into Green, into Blue, sorry, so Blue can't get on their backs. So they're too busy worrying about that.
Yeah.
You can now see how it swung around. The Greens have gone to Red, and all the Blues are now at Green.
We got Blues now at green. Yeah.
They're not set up for that blue switch as the attackers move over, and the blue has managed to sneak the base. And that's kind of where they haven't learnt those things.
I think Blue's also doing a push defense, it looks like, as well.
Yeah, V-Dark. I know V-Dark's kind of playing that middle section, that low traffic area.
I think
in the middle
he's sitting
blue
at the
and red.
window there and sniping out through the window.
Yeah.
Looks like it's in the pack room based on this map. Just shooting people. Someone check that out.
There's a wee window there where he was standing.
All right, so fam, who's that pick for this game? Who's going to win?
I've got a soft spot, I
see.
think, for Lit. I don't know, just Ace, me, Arrow.
Well, Legalised Sneak Takes has a couple of Dunedin players, so I'm obligated to root for them, but I think they are a pretty good team anyway.
Yeah,
definitely having V-Dark and Popeyes is a huge advantage.
Yeah, I think my bias, I look at it and I go, oh, Legalised Sneak Takes. But that's just massive bias from 10 years ago. I have no idea.
Well, Zeta is a pretty good. He's a really good solos player. So he gets a lot of pack points. He can just sweep up some of the pack points, and feels a pretty good player as well.
You can see Ace is having a really rough game for Lit, and he's kind of I would think their star player for that team. So I think that's kind of where they're falling behind a little bit. But there's still plenty of time left in the game.
Ace has just picked up blue.
does Ace have much experience in this arena? I'm not familiar with the New Zealand sort of scene at the moment.
You'd have to ask someone from Auckland, I think.
Yeah.
Not super familiar with who plays at what maze. There's like 3 different mazes in Auckland.
Yep.
He's in that area, right? So
Oh, he's an Auckland player, yeah.
yeah, so I don't really know the geography, but it's all kind of close enough for him to go to every so often.
Yeah, I back, even though he sort of looks like he's having a rough game, I back Guinea as a really strong Worlds format player. Like, dueling, 1 shot per sec. Like, he's law. Like, Guinea's the law dude, right? And,
Yep.
you know, a bit of a rough game so far, but yeah, I back Guinea in this type of, this format.
We watched Guinea earlier today get a couple of really nice base takes. He soloed blue, so you see where he's playing around blue. He really likes this spot. He'll try and get in through that right door, put his back against that panel and start shooting the base. It's like that nice right-hander spot where you can put your phaser on your hip and shoot it, kind of where Arrow's down
Arrow's
there.
going for it. Oh, Arrow got denied.
Yeah, I'm not, maybe double with V-Dark or something. Looks like he spawned.
Have we seen Red try to dominate that right hand side door of blue and the middle area and just kind of go into that spot? Has that been a strategy that's been played?
Say that one more time.
So Red team, like, just looking at the maze, I feel like if you can control that middle area that V-Dark was in earlier, that kind of low traffic area, but then push someone into that right-hand side door down the bottom, that player, like, they can't really be tagged from those other 2 doors, I think.
Or somebody comes... I think there's a window or something between the 2 doors.
Yeah. I think there's
Either
some
that
weird
or it's easy
windows.
to get around. There's a weird window,
Kind of see how
I
it's
think.
grey rather than black. I
Yeah,
think those are
the
windows.
grey indicates a window, but I'm not sure what it looks like on the inside. And based on what I've seen, I feel like there's some kind of window in there that you can see from the left to the right through those back doors.
Weird angle things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arrow's having a hard time from that spot, so that would make sense.
Ram slowed down a bit. We've got legalized sneak takes and troubleshooters. They're neck and neck. We haven't talked about troubleshooters before. We talked about the other 2 teams, so they kind of snuck up ahead. And it's interesting because they got a team of, we all know a lot of these players, but we wouldn't call any of them these elite attacking players at all, really.
I mean, compared to Popeyes and V-Dark, like on a Worlds format, you would give the advantage to those Cobra players.
But I reckon maybe they just have good teamwork and cohesion, possibly playing out of green. I kind of like watching how they've just tried to play. I feel like they're just playing the map really well.
I see Zeta's just sort of hanging up in that top right hand corner. He's just been there the whole game pretty much, trying to get as much pack as he can. He's not really tried to go for either of the bases. He's just sort of hanging out in between them.
A little dirty.
I think it's interesting looking at the troubleshooters. I know they're up by a base, but their tag ratios are quite down compared to legalized sneak takes.
Yeah.
It's actually really close
winning.
at the moment. All the scores are really close.
Really a game of who can break through. It seems like this 3-2s, none of the attacks are really having much luck, which usually happens in these. Once this skill goes up and gets closer, usually the attack just ends up losing 3v2 for a while until they all kind of trade at some point. It gets a bit slow in the last 4 minutes. We're all sitting on 20k. Especially in a Worlds format, it's just harder to win a numbers disadvantage.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yep. I've always found it weird because I've played Worlds format a little bit, and it's like in a close game, certainly on the
V-Dark picked up a green base there and gave his team a bit more of an advantage.
They got a bit of a buffer there.
Yeah.
But it also looks like legalized sneak takes have sort of got their key players' bases. So, how successful are they going to be getting Zeta and TJ through the remaining? And they've only got green so far. They've had no success at red.
I'm not sure how much they haven't really seen them much at all around red. Like
No.
Zeta has just sort of been in that corner the entire game. He hasn't really sort of tried to, though. As I speak, he's not hitting. He's just standing in the cross area. He's just
Yeah, they kind of have Zeta playing up here the entire game, and they're playing a
yeah.
four-man kind of game against red, so against green,
So I
sorry,
wonder
where
if
they
he
constantly
can
push
realise
it.
that red base is empty and he can go get a free base.
He can walk down there and take it at any point.
Yeah,
Oh, it looks like he's thinking about it.
he's thinking about it.
Yeah, but then he can see these tags and his eyes light up. He's like, ooh,
Yeah,
Ace is
no,
back
he's
to me.
Yeah. Ace and Guinea are like, nah, we're not having a bar of
like,
it.
no.
Popeyes.
Or maybe
come up
Popeyes
with
is
a-
coming down. He might get Zeta to come help him. Yeah, looks like Zeta's coming down now.
Ooh, red
Oh,
are
Lit
taking the
got.
lead.
Look, Lit took two bases. Oh,
Yeah, they got 2 bases when we went.
that was
Got
quick.
distracted watching this guy in top right corner.
It's like 2 bases there.
I'd love to see, like, if we imagine we could see some of the past nationals and stuff, because you can always see now that you have this map, what these opportunities people have to get a free base that they miss.
Oh,
And I'd love
Yeah.
to see, like, how many times in the past, like, I have just missed a free base. Just
Like how many? Oh, looks like Grudy picked up a warning there.
that's a big deal, because this game's so close. They're now just behind legalized sneak takes.
And they're getting a lot of pack too, so their worm's going up pretty steadily. It looks like Zeta might actually be going for the base once they clear out Guinea.
It's not an easy task.
No, it's not. Invites last year, I had a hard time keeping Guinea out of my base, but I managed to do pretty well.
Oh, Zeta's got a free base. Go.
You got it. Get it.
Go, Zeta.
Look at that,
Watch
directly
the
underneath.
2v3.
Yeah.
Zeta and Popeyes win.
Zeta
V-Dark
got-
rocks up.
Now VDark's here now. They sort of realise that this is a more available base, so they can. Yeah, so it looks like
doesn't take
Zeta's going back.
freebies.
Zeta's going back home. Popeye's just going to hang around probably.
A minute left. Really need the red team to get that last base take. They're currently trying to blue, which has greens all around it. Where's the guy to plan the chaos?
Interesting to see Ace playing. Oh, V-Dark putting shots. Oh, I think that's.
VDark's got it. They've got it.
Yeah, I think that's game. Interesting to see Ace with no bases, kind of trying to defend.
Ice has got
He's got
one
one.
base.
He's got one.
He's got one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's not a perfect system, but the scores are pretty accurate. So he's got one base.
It's a skill to read this at the moment.
Oh, true. 7-4-7-1. Yep. I'm with you.
Sometimes the denials are actually bases. It's really. A little
Oh,
annoying.
really?
The system still has a few kinks to work out. But Ace has just picked up green
Ace
base
picked up his second.
right at the end of the game.
Too little, too late. I'm afraid.
But that was a good game though.
Yeah, unfortunately, troubleshooters, they kind of just flattened out in that middle game and just were not able to push anything. Kind of just fell behind the pace of the game and only get one base to kind of keep them close-ish, but it really cost them. They really just, I don't think they got a single blue, which is always a big deal when you can't get a
No,
base.
Fred got blue. Fred's got 2 bases there.
There you go. See, I can't read it.
You look at the player's score and the last digit tells you how many bases they've got.
Yeah, you think I'd learned that after
After
a couple
10
years
years.
laser tag, but
Well, they tell you we tell new players that pretty early, but you can see from the score how many bases they've got.
because of the new scoreboard, I'm just not used to reading like this different format.
Yeah. I'm hyper fixating on the base totals, like next to the players and the team base totals.
Oh yeah, they're quite good, but they're not perfect. There's quite often it'll miss a shot. So for like Ace there, it lists he's got 2 shots into blue, but he actually has blue.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think sometimes it just misses the last shot.
Can be a little annoying, but it's funny. Everyone can just laugh at the bad commentators not being able to realize things.
Yeah, they got no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
No clue.
Who's the next game? That's
Yes, let's have a squiz.
Excellent
Well,
question. So there's lit, legalized sneak takes, and dysfunctional.
Double knockout too.
Yep.
No, it's troubleshooters.
Oh, troubleshooters.
Troubleshooters is functional.
Legalize go through the next game. They're just rearranging it.
They'll still putting the scores in.
Putting the scores in.
Oh, I'm actually pretty keen to watch this Hobart Devils Swipers legalized snake team.
Yeah,
game
I just saw
after
that game and I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
two Hobart
that'll be a
teams
good one.
like right at the top. What's going on there? Who are those
Yeah.
guys?
And the winner of that game goes through to the finals, and then you've got
Hobart did pretty well in
Golden
New Zealand, I guess.
They seem to like our system.
Oh, I'm totally not surprised to see Hobart performing exceptionally on a Worlds format setting.
They want to. I think Hobart and New Zealand are the places in Australasia that play Worlds the most. I don't think any other state really do.
Oh, yeah, totally.
At all. I think we did it a bit for training games because it's good to just help practice your timing and some of your
Yeah.
dueling skills, but that's about it. Never an actual Worlds format game. I'd love it.
Yeah,
I love
when-
playing slow shot rates.
When we're training in Dunedin, we often change between Nats and Worlds. Depending on competition that's coming up, we'll train more of one than the other. So training, looking up to invites, we've been doing a lot of almost solely just Worlds training. But then after this, I suppose we'll go back to Nats because there's a bunch of us going to Nats.
Yeah.
And we're very excited for it. It is in August. A few
When's
months away.
the Pre-Nats 3? Surely that's soon. No one don't know.
Don't know.
So that'll be probably June or something, right?
No idea.
I don't know. I just get asked to commentate and I say yes. It's the only way I can stay relevant.
Relevance is overrated, my dude.
Isn't that why you're here?
No, I'm here for the
Relive
love.
your glory days?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not the glory days, I guess. Just the joy you still get out of laser tag.
Yeah,
Cyrix
man.
says mid-June for Nats 3.
I love laser tag, but not enough to drive 40 minutes to get smashed by people.
40 minutes? We're
Yeah.
going to Invercargill, which is like a 3-hour drive for a competition. Never mind the Aucklanders who have to fly down.
How good it was to be young, hey?
Oh man, I remember when I first started playing, I caught the train for 3 hours to play League. Like I'd finished school, and I'm on the other side of the city, so I'd like jump on 2 different trains over 3 hours to play 3 games of League.
Wow.
Loved it.
That's
Would,
dedicated.
oh man, yeah, 100%. Like I was such a nerd about it. I loved it so much, and I just don't have that energy anymore.
And it's probably easier now. That's
Yeah,
the funniest
100%.
thing,
I have
right?
a driver's license.
Four Eyes is dancing in green again.
Ooh.
He was.
Yeah, I'm watching it on the stream because it's a bit
He
delayed,
was-
so I missed it. Quite funny.
Alright, looks
Right,
like
we
we
got
started.
lit, dysfunctional, and troubled shooters. What are we picking, fam?
I think Lit's going to run away with this one.
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
that's
like they're a
fair
tier
assessment.
above these teams, but I got to prove it.
Is Dysfunctional playing with 4... Oh no, there's the 5th one.
Yeah, dysfunctional got 5. I can't see troubleshooters being able to overcome the player deficit at this level.
Where's
Especially
the 5th troubleshooter?
oh, so they've got 5.
I don't
Someone
know.
just needs to pull the trigger.
Someone
Yeah.
needs to do something.
I can see Dysfunctional winning this game, though, definitely. Like
yeah, I
with
would like... I
Goofy,
think I'd
Four
like
Eyes,
Dysfunctional to do well here.
but they're playing out of green, which is apparently not doing well, and you can kind of see why. This is what I don't like about how people playing green. They've kind of got 3 people stuck in this corner.
They're all 4 of them are in there. It's just Gumby who's come around to red base.
I hope something's broken with it, because people shouldn't do
Lycan's
that.
just by herself wedged. Oh wait, Lycan just walked through a wall.
Yeah,
on the other
it's
side.
not the most accurate system. She'll be in the wall, like the corner.
Oh, Fred's in this corner, but he just took green base, by the way. We found the cupboard shot. Troubleshooters all the way.
Oh
The
yeah,
score
Fred.
hasn't updated though, so
Oh, he's taken it now. He's just got it.
too shy to know.
Yeah, so that corner is kind of like the default spot, I guess. Oh, Geestricity has just joined the game.
There's first
He's
tag.
appeared. First tag.
1-0. I love it. Oh. Yeah, and you can kind of see like the bases are going their way, but red is slowly, like this early on, has got a
Yeah,
decent
like
pack
they're
advantage.
both doing pushes, and it looks like Gumby's sneaking around behind blue, and he might have a go there.
Like, look at this red setup. It looks so good. Like, look at all the tags you can get.
That was a good push
Exactly.
defense there.
Kind of see who's that Groody holding this like window through the corridor, and you can see my
Yeah,
suits
that's
looking through
that's
this window.
that's the same window that V Dark was on, except he was on the other side in the other game.
I love this red spread.
Yeah, and that was
It's,
awesome because they use it to get the green base just
And they've
then.
got a base now, yeah.
that is great positional laser tag.
Yeah. The blue has been packing really well.
Yeah, we don't know where Fred is, but kind of makes it hard. But
He's in the maze there somewhere. Oh, it looks like BMW's in the pack room.
green don't look like they want to commit to red just yet, so they're just playing this.
I think they're
Loosey-goosey
looking to
spread.
get some pack points, hopefully keep people out, so then they fight over their base at the end, maybe.
If he's trying to keep them honest, you can see how they've
Yeah.
fallen back a little bit.
That's the worst part when you're like trying to have a float defense is how much do you commit to the one?
Yeah, when you know a team's playing like a 5-man defense, my first thought is I'm just going to send one player there.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you
because
going to do?
Just to draw them away.
You can't just defend with one because they'll win. So you have to commit two. So the resources are lost. But look at red now. All 5 of them are just hanging out. Like
And then I think the game
I think
might
that's a
be
team chat.
ending.
Is that a team
Yeah,
chat?
the game might be broken
I
because
think the
everyone's
game
going
might be
into the pack
broken
room.
because they're all going into the pack room, and I saw 2 refs wandering around in green.
Yeah.
So they're all going, red's all going back to their base. If there's somebody at the site, could you let us know what's going on?
Guessing it's a game server crash just by the fact that all the reds were by the reloader. It's usually the telling sign.
I saw BMW went into the pack room, and I thought it might have been a pack swap, but then I saw Four Eyes go in a bit after that, and then everybody else followed.
I think games crashing halfway is probably one of the most annoying things.
Yeah, especially if you had a really good start, and then you have to redo it and can't quite get the same good start.
Even if you had a bad start, like it's just frustrating to be through the game and you're playing and then you got to stop and then like let's just do it again. Yeah, but I just want to.
If you've had a bad start and your game restarts, you've got an opportunity to do a bit better the next time.
Yeah, but that feels kind of dirty if you end up winning.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know? It's like just kind of like a loss.
I don't. Have we even had a game restart on Helios before?
We did.
It doesn't happen much. I feel like that system's
What?
pretty stable.
There might have been one.
It happened all the time in Bendigo in
Oh, did it?
2015. Yeah, I think
Did it?
in 2015 it was really bad. Yeah, I think early on in 2015 it crashed like in 6 of my games or something
Good lord.
Wow.
when I was playing on the Jets.
It's interesting that the game has sort of
Oh.
ended, but they're still tracking all the players. You can see the players aren't actually in game, but still tracking it.
Oh, it sounds like it might
Oh,
actually
injury stop.
might be an
Oh.
injury stop.
I do
Alright.
hope that whoever's been injured, I hope they're
Injury
okay.
stop.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's an injury stop. The problem is if the game stopped because of an injury, it's probably pretty serious, right?
It must be. It must be. Looks like we've
So it looks like they're going
restarted.
again. Are we down, Brad? BMW? His pack is still in the room, but I don't know if he's playing.
Yeah, you might be right. It might be the BMW. But did they just like pause the game or something? Like it's
I
just
don't know. I
Pause the-
didn't know you could pause the game.
I've never seen that.
it's a decent functionality, I guess.
Well, Brad's icon is still moving, though. Don't know.
I hope Brad's okay.
Yeah. I hope everybody's okay. Huh?
Fred is still in his cupboard shooting people, which is good to see. Corner there.
Oh, Cyrix says they paused the game, didn't do a full restart. It's a new feature.
Oh, that's really good. I think, yeah, for
That's
situations
that's
like
pretty
that,
good. Yeah,
it's the best.
that's a good feature.
Situation. And then, I guess everyone just goes back to their base areas and you start again.
It'll be a bit unfair to just start outside another base.
Everyone go back to exactly where you were standing.
Yeah, just yeah.
I was in the empty blue base.
Yeah,
I was like,
No one
I
else
was
around.
definitely inside the enemy base. But
I
no
also
one
had a
else
teammate
around.
set up on this door, and
Cyrix, it does look like you do have to go back to the base for the restart, just for being fair. I suppose you can't remember exactly where you were if the game just suddenly.
based on what I saw on the map, it looked like it as well.
Yeah, it just sort of looked
Everyone
like
kind of
everybody went
went
back
to
to
their
their base.
That
So
was
I
a
reckon
happening.
half the
few-
players wouldn't know there's a pause. They probably were so confused when the game
Yeah,
just
no,
kind of like pauses.
I imagine I would have been the same. I just would have been like, hey, why is my pack not shooting anymore? Oh, the game has stopped.
I probably won't notice because I'm usually deactivated.
That was what I was
Yes,
gonna
Sam.
say. I'm
I'm like,
I'm
hey, why am I
usually
not
deactivated.
reactivating?
Oh, big hit for troubleshooters though. Brad was having a good game, 316% tag ratio.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least the troubleshooters get to carry on his score, and they're not restarting the game and suddenly playing with 4, right? Like,
Cyrix says the pack makes a sound, and on the screen it says it's paused. So I guess there is an indicator. I guess it depends on how into the game you are.
Yeah, it's interesting now because it looks like Lit and Dysfunctional. Oh, Lit's kind of running away with it. I mean, troubleshooters are still there.
I guess the break must have changed something because a lot of bases went down right after we
Sphinx just
paused.
got turned in blue,
Another turn for
and
Sphinx.
the base is empty.
Maybe they were covered.
So you don't like to see that. No, they probably just
No.
walked in deactivated accidentally.
Oh, it happens.
It's a new player, especially, you told
Yeah.
the base is empty. Come in, come
Well,
in, come in.
you go in too early.
So it looks like Blue have just decided to just dump at this point, I think, because they're all in red. What I can see,
Well,
anyway.
it seems to be working okay for them. They seem to be getting. We're all pretty close in score.
Yeah.
I think if you lose a player mid-game, wouldn't you just dump and see how it goes?
You wouldn't have time to think about it, right? That would be the hardest part. It's like you're sitting in your base, waiting for the respawn. Like, you haven't talked about what to do because you're busy. Like, what's going on? And someone tells you the rule, like you have to go back to start your base or something, and then you're like, oh, what do? Oh, yeah, just dump a red. Screw it.
I've just heard that Brad might have hurt his leg. So hopefully it's not too bad.
Serious.
yeah, fingers crossed.
Speak firsthand. Serious injuries are literally the worst.
Oh, they are.
I've seen 2 pretty bad ones at Zone in my time, and yeah, wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, I guess the Blues just decided, having just lost a player, just be like, yep, let's just dump the heck of it, I suppose. Make what you can of it.
It's rough because you've got double knockout format, right? It's not bad because we play the game to win, so
Yeah.
you should try to win the game. But double knockout's rough.
It's very rough.
I wonder it's just because it's a smaller competition than what Nats usually is. There's a lot less teams and stuff.
Yeah, it's about scheduling and stuff. You want to finish.
Yeah, that too.
Before
You want to
midnight.
finish before midnight.
And it looks like Lynn dysfunctional though. They're neck and neck, and troubleshooters are not that far behind.
There's not a
Only
lot
1,000
between
points.
them. They're all doing really well.
I mean, it's obviously 3 minutes. There's still a lot of time to get bases, which is against troubleshooters. They're nearly done.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for them, the BMW never got any bases.
Yeah, that's
No,
right. And
yeah, it's a bit rough.
Guinea hasn't got a green, so if you look at the base spread, we see 4 hasn't. Oh, Goofy hasn't got blue though, so anything could happen.
Yeah, it's going to be close to the end, I think. 'Cause, yeah, Goofy getting that blue's like guaranteed, right? He's kind of walking over there now.
Yeah, he's hanging out. He's taking it now. There you go.
Oh my god, how many blues
Oh,
just turned up?
camera.
Oh, actually, all the
All
blues
turned
have
up
kind
out
of
of
come
nowhere.
back. They're gonna get that denial. Oh, he got the stun off, Goofy.
We're still in it too, man. Like,
Blue is still in it. They're getting really close.
they can't get any more
And
bases.
they've got all their
So
bases
they
now
need
that they
to.
can get.
Yeah, it's just the field point spread, right? So if they can just lock out the last 2.5 minutes, spread out,
Get some pack points.
there's only one more of their base to drop. Sphinx could just walk it.
I don't think they can catch up to Lit though.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
They
It's
got
tough.
that. They got an extra greens while that happened, and that just put them to 9 bases.
Oh yeah. Red's
What
little
do
dot is
Sphinx
moving
do?
around. Sphinx needs a red, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm guessing red.
Well, they've got 2 shots into blue with 1 base, so I presume they still need red.
They're at blue, which is confusing. Oh, they need blue as well?
Do they?
No,
Well, the
they're at blue
score
though.
says they've
Nah,
got 1.
that's it. Lit just hit their 10 bases. Time to spread out, get the points.
Yeah, they've definitely
Yeah,
won this game.
let's got this one now.
Yep. They know they're playing.
It might have been a very different game if Brad was still in it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. It kind of changed everything, but I still think this is probably the expected result when I came into this game.
Oh, 100. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Lit definitely would have been the favourite. The result could have been different had BMW been able to play. Hopefully he's okay. That's I think that's the most important thing, right? That we all hope for the best for Brad. Unlucky for the troubleshooters. They definitely could have jagged this one and had an upset.
Yeah, it looks like the scores are evening out now too, since almost all the bases are gone.
It can't really change from here.
Even if Sphinx gets that last base, I don't think they'll be able to pull ahead.
Yeah, you'd also expect Lit, knowing that they've got 10, to kind of grow
Sphinx
their
is
lead.
going for it. I think they got denied at the end there though. And that's pretty much game.
the ball game.
It was a good game though, despite
Yeah.
the injury.
Pretty high scoring. It's always interesting to see. I feel like I keep watching these defensive nationals, and I'm sick of it.
Have we seen a 50k game for one of the
Today?
teams? Yeah.
Not that I remember. Have a quick look.
I think that's the highest
Yeah,
score
there
of
was
today,
one.
yeah.
One earlier, I saw a 54k by legalized sneak takes.
Oh, that was the second game.
Second game, yep. But yeah,
But
pretty
there's
high
still
score.
a pretty good big score from Lit there.
Yep, so they go through to the second golden game. So Lit are now in the second golden game.
Yep.
Or the last golden game, I guess.
The last one, yeah.
Yeah, and Dysfunctional, they've been eliminated, so they're coming in at 7th. And we have Troubleshooters being eliminated at... No, sorry, other way around. Troubleshooters coming in at 7th. And Dysfunctional being eliminated in 6th place. So congratulations to both of those teams. And I guess best wishes to the BMW.
Has it been low scoring throughout the whole comp? 50, 54, is that the top score?
There's only been a couple of 50k games. Just looking back through the round robin, there's only been like 2, 3 in the round robin.
Wow.
The highest score was 57k.
But it's a 62k yesterday.
Oh, is there a 62?
Yeah,
I missed that
in
one.
the round robin. But I mean, the round
There's-
robin scores don't mean that much, because
Yeah.
when first is playing 9th and 10th, it's like,
True.
not really that.
But there's not been a huge amount. There's mostly like 30 or 40k.
That nice middle ground.
Yeah, I do love me a 45k average. Like, 43k, that's a good place to be.
So in this coming game, it looks like we've got the Hobart Devils on red, the Hobart Swipers on blue, and Legalized Sneak Takes on green.
So these Hobart teams, fill me in. Like, they seem pretty dominant. What's the go?
One team has Runt,
Okay,
and
fair.
one team has Twinkles.
Ah, right. Yep.
That's what I've gotten from it. And then all
Pretty
their
much.
I don't know how much you paid attention to the pre-nats, but the Hobart Archangels, who are the B team, have been doing really well in those comps, and I think their players have gained a lot of confidence recently. And I think that's kind of coming through when they're now coming here. It's my kind of best guess.
Yeah, Worlds format too. Those guys play it quite a lot.
Just looking in the camera, Phil is pumped. He's ready to go.
All right. So what's
the
the
team
over?
pick?
What's the over under on run score this game? Like 14? Okay. Like what's the 13-5?
I think like the line would be like 13, right?
Right. Okay.
We'll say 13.
Everything. Oh wow, there's a lot of movement happening early on.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, you got
One's already
Twinkles
been
who
denied.
loves to run around. He's off somewhere.
Yes, the Hobart Devils picked up an early denial. Just put their packs way ahead. It's quite interesting watching this game. Everyone's attacking straight off the bat.
Oh, Popeye's got denied. Is that what happened? Oh, and green has picked up the blue base. So Popeye's
Popeye's
has
picked up blue.
picked up blue. Oh, maybe Karen got denied and they got points from that.
Yeah, so Karen went to red and put a shot in and got denied from someone just watching him through the door. It's one of those don't shoot the base until you're in the spot kind of denials.
Yeah, there's like a couple of spots in each base. There's like 2 spots that I've seen most people take from. And one of the main one is the pocket in that corner there.
Yeah, it's different playing on Worlds format too. Like shooting a base 1 shot per second, you're far less able to cover yourself. One shot in like looking at these bases. If you pull the trigger, you could almost get denied from all 3 doors of each base if someone comes in.
Yeah.
Hobart Swipers take another base. Everyone's tied up at one base each.
On a piece, tight game so far.
A lot of pack happening for the Devils there.
Yeah, good tag ratios, like average tag ratios for the Devils. They're all doing pretty well. Only 1 player negative.
Runt's rocking a 200%. Just over here.
So an off game.
It's alright, plenty of time.
I don't think I've ever seen, after watching the pre-nats, I don't think I've ever seen an individual performance like what Runt did at pre-nats of any player ever.
Twinkle's got denied at red there. We got double denied. Did he, or is he taking it again? He's taking it again.
I think he's got 4
got
shots
it.
into green, so...
Yeah, he was single denied and then he had another go.
Yeah, running into Runt in his home arena seems on a new system that people aren't used to playing. I think he's like a step above every other player, it looks like.
Yeah,
Swipers are running away with pack there. And Devils have picked up a pack as well, and unfortunately Legalized Sneak Tack's falling a little bit behind in their pack points.
Yeah, they're really struggling, I think. Maybe this is the green base thing that people are feeling to keep those pack up. Because they've been it's been a game where everyone hasn't just focused on green. Everyone split a 3-2 different bases, and it was just a 2v3 everywhere. And it still
Well,
kinda is.
Legalized have got 3 people at blue. So maybe they're trying for a heavy attack to try get those bases through, maybe.
Yeah, they're just really falling behind these Hobart teams. Easy points, taking green base. Easily takes it. Popeye's a bit late. And that's the problem when you have a two-man defense. And a 2v2, I normally favour the offense.
Yeah, they just need to get one opportunity to get in there, and they'll have the base and run away with it.
Yeah.
It looks
Devils-
like
Devils
Green-
are winning the base game, but the field points aren't there for them. So if either of these other teams can sort of get,
Yeah,
get a bit of a move on.
Swipers have only got one base, and they managed to keep track with their pack score.
Yeah, Runt still has 2 to get, so you almost have to assume those are going to happen at
Yeah.
some point.
Well,
right?
their green is really fighting for blue.
I
They
can
really
guarantee you
want
one. If Runt goes in with a 0-base game, that would be insane. Unless it's a 0-base game all around, you know.
When was the last time?
Red.
When was the last time we saw a 0-base game anywhere?
I don't know. I don't think it even happened in Darwin, so. If it wasn't going to happen in Darwin, it's not going to happen anywhere, I think.
I wonder if green could maybe at this point sneak over to red if they've only got one person there. But red seem to have a pretty good push defense there, sort of set up.
Yeah, the nice thing with this red setup is it's not like the perfect kind of packing thing, but boy is it safe. There's one player at the back ready to bail out any push with the 3 push thing. So it seems like Ellie's moved up a bit now, so kind of a change up. But I don't hate that sometimes, because sometimes you try and push your 5th player out and you actually don't get anything extra.
Yeah, I think the question is, what are Red going to do once they get Nelly that green base?
Yeah, it must be what they're playing for, though,
You know,
right?
do you lock down the game from there and just control that 2/3 of the maze, you know, from back?
Interesting, actually, yeah, because you agree, but what are the swipers kind of planning to do here?
Maybe they've been pretty defensive. Maybe they'll have a later game push for the other bases.
I feel like Runts never ran towards red.
So the Devils have just picked up their last green. See what they do. Now, green is really trying to get into blue.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
but
I guess if
that's
you
gonna
got
be-
swipers.
That's the only place the Devils have to go as well. So green are in a pretty tough spot right now, because if they push to blue, the Devils can just sort of follow them across and make life really hard.
They're really fighting for it. They really want blue. They just can't quite get the opportunity. The Sager's poking in now too to make life a bit difficult.
I just feel like if blue start to decide we're going to commit to get bases pretty hard, red's
Sager's
going
going for it.
to be a bit too split trying to defend both.
Yeah, blue's not in the worst spot. They have to execute well, but there's a lot of focus on blue right now. Like the other two
Yeah.
teams both really kind of need to make
Green
blue
just picked
happen.
up the blue.
And this is where blue start to get easy greens, because greens are attacking red now. So it's really, I think, about red catching up on their pack hits in this time, and seeing if, because I just can't see them stopping green and blue.
No,
That's kind of where the problem is.
if red
Green
could
also
get,
needs to get a little bit of wriggle on. I guess they've kind of given up. They've said 3 people have got blue. We'll try the other base.
if red, I think if red can get 2 hits on blue in the next 2 or 3 minutes, they're in a pretty good spot without conceding much, and then they can sort of just fall back and control the game.
We've got 2 full teams that are at red base.
Don't really like how blue's set up at the moment. You can see that they actually have no one playing the game except Run. Everyone else is playing in red.
Yeah, I
and
think they're waiting for one of the teams to run back across to blue, maybe.
they need to kind of get a bit more of a presence just to pick up those extra pack hits, because those few,
Yeah,
I
because
think, could
they're
make the difference.
missing out on the pack points there, yeah.
Yeah, something needs to happen. They've got so many hits they could take on blue. Look, green, sorry, and they. Oh, here we go.
Oh, looks like
Yeah.
Popeye's
Sure,
picked
sure,
up
sure, he's
red
picking one up.
base.
Luckily, they
managed
have
to make red.
Runt picking up this pack, so if you want
Run
anyone to
carry
be,
the swipers.
yeah, to be
If
in
I'm the
charge of your
swipers
pack
right
still.
now, Runt is in the perfect spot, just destroying people, and then they can utilize the entire left-hand side of the maze to just slowly rotate green.
Yeah, I just need Tiger to push up a little bit more and just look into red. That's what I don't
Yeah,
know.
if Tiger
There he
sits in
goes.
that window,
There he
then
goes.
that'll
That's
really help.
where Tiger needs to be.
I think he'll be upset now that Twinkles has run past.
Yeah. So now it's his job to follow this guy back, but
Oh,
that's kind of where
Tiger's
he
run
needs
out
to
of
be.
power. He's going back to recharge. As you know, he was just deact. Never mind.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
So
It's hard with blue because it's quite dark.
I think this game's a great example of what we can learn with the live player tracking. So red team are going to review this and be like, man, we just need to send one person to blue, right? Like, this
Well,
is the...
like Twinkles had a weak poke, but he didn't go very far.
Yeah. This is
Hazzy
like
Villain says
the point
swipers
where they
just
need
swipe
to.
green and they win.
Yeah, possibly.
They're getting up there. They're ahead now.
Only because they have a red base, so they have another base to get. But red have all the pack at the moment, and they have a chance to catch up the pack disadvantage from earlier. And that's why we're trying to say, hey, blue, just make sure you have 2 people getting as much pack as you can, so they can't catch up.
Yeah, swipers have just got... Like, swipers have got, what, one... Oh, they got one more empty green and then field point advantage. So I think they run away with this one.
So now, yeah, I think they've done a good job. Luckily, they had Runt there. So he's probably making the most of it.
Well, the Devils are catching up a little bit.
But you can kind of see now, Tiger's pushed up, he's got a good angle, he can see the back of people. Karen's now pushing up. So they're actually now, this is what I wanted a little bit earlier. It just took them a little while to set it up, which is, you know, fair enough, to take a little longer to read the game than you should.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier when you have a map that you can see where every single
You
person
can
is.
actually see where everybody
It's
is.
so much easier said than done, right? Like, if you're the Hobart Devils, they don't have the information we do. As far as
Yeah,
they're
that's
concerned,
true.
it's a 5 versus 6 and they've had points at their base the whole game. So they're not really doing the wrong thing given the information that they have.
And they probably should know they're a base down, because their base went down, and they should try and get one more. And that's the only thing I could see, is like, at no point...
Well, they've
easy
lost
points.
2
But
bases.
at no point if they try to throw 2 players at blue randomly, if that makes sense. Just
Yeah,
turn
well,
up.
easy points is just coming back from that way.
I think certainly if Red drop a base, which they might be about to legalise sneak take, which is the perfect situation for them, Red go to blue hard. Right now, you could possibly snatch a win.
I don't think there's enough time.
Yeah,
Not
no,
enough
there's
time
not.
now,
There's
but-
a little too late, but...
The idea is, you know, you let green take your base towards the end, because you know they're out of it, and you run to the other base. Just to try and cement your idea in the game, because the worst thing that happens is green gets your base, you know, they have 5 bases, and then you come back, and you failed to get the base. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard in those positions to know. These are the, like, high-level decisions that
Yeah, and it
are
could be that,
so
like...
hard to read, that you kind of need to lose a few times in the situation to figure it out.
Yeah, and it could be that you're so concentrated on... Like, so focused on defending your base from, like, the whole team that you might forget that, oh, actually, the other base won't be so hot, and you could potentially go sneak a base there.
Yeah, you need players on your team who would make that call and not get tunnel visioned on the small part of the game, and that's a rare amount of players, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get sort of focused on trying to get into a base that you sort of forget, oh, hang on, there's an awful lot of players here, maybe I should go check out the other base.
Yeah, and the challenge that comes with captaining a team and making those decisions while managing your own game is very, very hard. And I'm envious of anyone who can do it well, because it's super difficult. It's so easy to be having a good game and then think that your team is having a better game than they are, or, you know, on the inverse, getting shot to crap and thinking you're doing worse than you are, and, you know, making poor decisions because of that, because you're having a personally bad game when your team might be doing very well.
It's the hardest thing about this laser tag 3-team format.
That's
You
why I
can't,
had
and it's
to
not
learn
like
that.
the sport, you can't see everything. Like, you go play basketball, you can see every basket go in. You know, you can't see
every
half
other
the arena.
sport, you know the score. Like every
Yeah.
other sport, you know the score.
I
But
had to learn that the hard way because I didn't like being on defense because I'm like, I'm not getting any points. I'm just sitting there waiting for players to come. But then actually being on defense is important because you prevent other people from getting points.
yeah, and you obviously stop the big one, which is the base. That's a lot of points. So
Yeah.
you kind of have like a
For
role
sure.
in
But
stopping an
I used
opportunity
to get
cost.
I used to get really antsy being on defense because I'm like, I'm not getting the base. I'm missing
Well, I
out on the
just never
base
get put on
points.
defense. They're just like, you know what? Go attack, mate. That's all
I
you can
get
do. I'm
put
like,
on.
yes, sir.
Ninja says just shoot things. I try ninja. I try.
Oh,
But with
defense.
that, I was
Yeah,
gonna say with that result,
sorry, you go.
Hobart's Wipers they make the grand final. So congratulations to them.
Good job,
Um,
guys. Well done.
and then we've got a game next, which is Hobart Devils legalized sneak takes and lit, and the winner goes into the grand final, where Tragedy of Hamlet will be waiting as they were
Yeah,
top.
later.
They went straight through. About your point, what were you going to say?
Oh, sorry. All I was going to say was, as a defender, defending's great because you get to frustrate the crap out of the good players.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. I got to frustrate Guinea at invites last year. Because Popeye thought it was a good idea to put me in the pocket of blue, and apparently I'm quite good from there. So I kept players out from there by shooting them when they come in, because the only way to sort of get somebody out of their pocket is to charge them. So I was
Yeah,
having a good old time keeping Guinea down and out. I mean, it wasn't
that's
so bad
actually
that I didn't
one of
get the
my
base, but it was very satisfying.
favorite things actually is when you like kind of set up in defense and it's a busy base and everyone's just running at you and you're just like
Yes.
sometimes you go into this mode where no one can get you out of your spot
Oh, it
and you
was
just
like
like
that, yeah.
doof, 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 and you're like this is the best.
I felt so powerful because Guinea and Nitro would charge at me at the same time, and I just get them both out over and over. It was great. And it was kind of funny as well because my teammate was trying to sort of come in to swap out with me so I could go get the empty base, but like I was defending so hard that you couldn't get me out without dropping a base.
I've always had this sort of philosophy about zone or laser tag that defense is underrated because of the nature of the 3-team game. As a defender, you can mitigate both other teams. It's not like a 1v1. So as a defender, you've got the opportunity to stifle 2 teams, whereas as an offensive player, you've only got the ability to score 10 bases, whereas you can. I mean, I know you can only stop 10 bases. I don't know. I just feel like I think Husky's the perfect example of this.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was thinking. Like
yeah.
I
So,
think an elite defender causes more issues than the best attackers.
yep.
So like
Yep.
I,
It
I
just
think of
takes a
Husky, I think of
generational talent like
Shreds.
Husky. You know.
Like you try and run at them and it's impossible. You have like your whole game plan changes based on who's inside the base because of these players.
Yep.
And because of how advantage like defense has an advantage over offense in most arenas, in most situations. You know, you have
Especially if
these
there's a good
players
spot to
that
defend
elite.
from.
It's just impossible. Like that was one of the best things when we ended up picking up Shreds for Darwin. Was just like we have this defensive powerhouse. It's just like our entire strategy changes. So like we don't care about this door. No one's getting through. They're all coming this door. And then it's like, okay, now we're gonna put hybrid there. Good luck. You know, just like simplifies the game a bit when you can just have that. And
Yeah, I
Husky's
think
even worse.
for invites last year, Popeyes favoured the blue base, which traditionally nobody liked the blue base. But Popeye's like, yep, we'll be blue, we'll stick Danny in the pocket, or we'll stick Zygorizer in the pocket, and we'll be fine.
I also think if you are leading an attack, the success of your defense gives you so much more flexibility. Like if you're running an attack and your defense is falling apart, you have to make very difficult decisions then. Whereas
Yeah.
like if you're running an attack and your defense is just holding strong, you've got so much more room for error. You know, like you can attack and not do so well, but as long as you're shoring up a lot of points, things are still okay. Whereas once your defense starts to fall apart, you have to basically make a Hail Mary play.
A tactical decision at that point, yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
if your defense is holding but you're not getting anything, you're like, actually, this is fun.
Yeah, this
Usually
is
it's
okay.
always fun. Like,
Yeah.
even if the other two
This
teams are
is fine.
trading, like, bases with each other, you're like, this is
Yep.
fine, our base hasn't dropped. They're probably going to come to us, or there's going to be an opportunity or something, but yeah.
Yeah.
Your base is probably the most powerful thing, I think, because it's yours, and, like, you can't control a lot of things in laser tag, but you can control that.
Practice your
Absolutely.
defense, kids.
I said earlier that I usually get antsy when I'm on defense, but now I've been sort of funneled into a defensive role more often than not. So I guess I make a good defensive player.
Yes, must have the tendencies for it more than you think.
I think it's because I'm good at paneling as well. So if I'm defense, I can set myself up on a good panel, and then I can just sort of take people out from there.
Looks like the game's getting ready to go in. Well, it looks like we have what? Lit on green?
We have Hobart Devils on red, Legalized Sneak Takes on blue, and Lit on green.
Alright, who's making it to the grand final?
This will be a fun game.
I'm going to go for Lit.
Yes, I was going to say the same. I'm picking Lit for the upset out of green. Let's go.
I would like Legalized Sneak Takes. But I don't know who'll win this one.
I did it
It should
because I
be-
thought it'd be a really fun final. Having, like, what are they called? I forgot. The Tragedy of Hamlet,
Yeah.
they're like a New Zealand team. The Hobart
Yeah.
Swipers being the, Hobart
Hobart.
team, obviously. I don't know why that was so hard to think of. And Lit being this mixed team. You know, that's just a fun grand
Oh,
final, I think.
Legalize is a mix as well.
They're all New Zealand, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a mix of Auckland.
That's not
and
mixed to
Dunedin.
me. It's a mix to you, but not
It
to
is. It is to me. I mean, Popeyes and VDAC. Well, I know Popeyes lived in Australia for a bit.
I forgot about that.
He left us to go live in Australia.
I think we're gonna see. I think this is the first of many highly controlled games.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
no
exciting.
one's. It's not like the last game where everyone ran out and attacked at the start. Everyone's just taking up positions.
They're all sort of pushing around. I see VDAC was trying to sort of thinking about sneaking into red there, and he's gone back towards green. Popeye's going for green.
Arrow and Ace are attacking red now. Interesting. Ooh, Popeyes.
Popeyes
get
did
it?
not. No,
He did not get it. It was double
Was that-
time.
8 people came at
That
him.
was
at the
close.
same time.
Everybody came at him. I thought
That's
it was
one of the
a bit
downsides
risky.
of the middle base attacking the middle base.
Everybody is in there.
And interestingly, you see Lit are just. I mean, it's probably because they're deactivated, but they're playing outside the base, and I like
Yeah.
that. I like that they're outside. Come inside, try and shoot it. Red's
Popeyes
here,
is going
blue's
again.
here, green's here.
Popeyes gets the base this time.
That's kind of the idea, right? It's like, it's busy here. You gotta take
Stay
a risk to
outside,
get
yeah.
it.
Popeyes isn't scared. I love those players who are just like, I'm putting shots in. Come get me.
I'm a little bit like that too. I'm a very opportunistic taker, and sometimes I just don't have enough time.
That's something you learn, though. And I find
Yeah.
you can't learn unless you shoot the base.
There's
That's true.
also a good balance of.
Like, oh,
red-
if I-
Ace shooting red.
If I shoot
Yeah,
the
it's got
base,
red.
suddenly everybody appears.
This rings the dinner bell. That's how you get the pack points.
Everybody's here. Hello. Or you're just going to make sure you get them all one at a time. Looks like Twinkles might pick up a blue base here.
I don't know, it's been deactivated.
No, never mind. It looked like he was the last one standing.
I think he doubled at the end or something, I'm not too sure.
Maybe. Oh, we got TJ's little circle stuck in the corner. That might be it.
Oh, that too, yeah. You don't know
Don't know
where
where
this other
TJ
blue
is.
player is. They've played the same strategy though. You see how they've got Zeta up just in this top right, just controlling
Yeah.
this area.
Legalized sneak takes have committed Popeyes and VDAC to defense.
I think TJ might be floating around there too, I think.
VDARK's pushed
do.
out.
Yeah,
They're doing a wee push
that's a great
defense
stretch.
with,
That's a great stretch. Like they're picking their better players to defend, but allowing them flexibility to push out. And look at that spread. It's a really, really that's high level.
because they've got the push defense, but with Zeta over on the other side in the corner, sort of maybe like
Yeah, so
funneling in a
Zeta's
little
like
bit.
helping them, and they're defending with 4, I think, and then attacking opportunistically.
It definitely leaves the open, sneaky kind of, Red could find or walk through that middle spot when VDARK's pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think TJ might be in there as well somewhere.
I don't mind the blue spread though, because even if Red come across, I feel like
Popeyes gets a decent shot, right? If he gets the
There's
call.
Twinkles come down, and Popeyes will be calling that Twinkles have come in.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the law of
Blue
average.
collapsed.
It's the law of averages, right? So you do it, and you might cough up 1 or 2, but the benefits that you gain from having those players push so far arguably outweighs the loss of that one sneaky base.
Yeah.
It's not about giving up 0 bases. It's about winning the game.
I was just watched VDARK on the map just run circles around Twinkles
Run
and
in
like
circles.
Sega, and just like ruining them, just black packing them over and over again. Though. I could literally see what was
He's
happening.
onto it. You can see that TJ is sort of in there on the camera on blue base, so they're inside the base there. Sega's running. I guess they will maybe shot out as well. But I think the blue team will push ahead again, push out.
I feel like there's less than 7 minutes remaining. I feel like this game's been going for ages. It's only halfway.
Oh, Zeta's going for his green. Picks
Goes
that
later.
up.
Oh, he's clean. Yeah.
He's got it. He's good.
I think the
he's
reason you
doing.
feel that way, Method, is because we're hitting the top end of the comp, so there's a lot happening in a small period. Small period of time. There's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
I think there's more investment in these games as well as you get higher up the ladder. We've got 2 green players trying to have a go at red. We've got 3 red defending that, and then we've got most of green still hanging around their base there.
Pretty nice, actually. Watching, like, this is kind of what I was talking about, I think, earlier in the day, where it's like watching these
Yeah, it's just quite
Hobart
nice
games
to
that are super
watch.
defensive and not a lot's happening on the cameras. Look how much you can see with this map. You can see where all the players are, tagging each other, just controlling. You can see how, like, I can just kind of see how, like, red and blue are, like, defending each other when, oh, this is a good, like, little sneak from
Ooh.
red.
Well, they're coming in. She's sneaking. There was a gap in their wall, and VDARK is responding because you can hear the base going down. So he's gapped it back, but of course it was not quite in time.
And I think that happened because they actually made a play on green to get
Yeah,
the
it
base.
looks like.
So they committed some numbers and they got the green base, but
Because Field's got
Yes.
green now, and they've dropped 1. But they could afford that, I think, because they were far enough ahead of the Devils that they basically sort of traded. Essentially, they got 1 and the other team got 1.
I'd love to know where TJ is because that's the only thing is we are missing a blue player.
Yeah, they're around somewhere. I suspect they might be in the middle there, where there's a gap
middle.
in their wall, in the blue
Yeah.
wall. I think Popeyes would put them in a strategic location. So it looks like VDARK and Zeta also having a go at red base, despite there being green people there too.
He's walked in, easy points tags him. Zeta's now charging in. He's gonna
Zeta's
get the-
gone in. She's
Ooh,
got
he
tagged by
in the
Nelly.
back. That's the worst.
Yeah, Popeyes is sitting there sniping the top of green as well. He's getting a few pick points.
I can't tell who's winning. Like, legalized sneak takes are winning, but I don't know that they're winning. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't feel like anyone's strategically winning.
Yeah.
Well,
It's other
the
people
legalize are upper base, which is probably good for them. Oh, you see, Twinkles and Mantis have come down, so Popeyes is called Fuel back so they can defend that.
Yeah, TJ's probably there as well.
Yeah, they'll definitely be there. Yeah, you can see TJ shooting it. Or being shot by Mantis.
Blue have this really good setup where they've punished green. That's how they've got this early lead.
Yeah,
that's
VDuck.
fair.
Yeah, VDuck still got 2 bases up his sleeve. I like the position that legalized sneak takes.
So Lit are starting to throw some bodies around. I kind of like the movements they're making here. They've got like this.
So it's like Guinea and my suitors, my ears are having a go at Blue now too. So Popeyes and Feel have got some back points they can get, assuming they can keep them out. It looks like Twinkles and Mantis have come back to have a go at Green instead.
I think they can get it.
VDuck putting shots. Oh, good. Oh, no, VDuck denied by Green. Green rocked up.
Oh, really?
At the same
Green.
time, Mantis punished Green being
Punched
pushed
Green.
it too much, and they Groody.
They just ran in and got it.
Easiest take. And then Green takes Blue. So we've had a 3-way trade in the last minute. Surprisingly common, right?
Blue didn't actually get the base though. This one missed out on that one.
Right?
Yeah.
Close. A 3-way almost trade.
It's pretty close now though. Oh, it looks like Zeta's gone for Blue and he's been tagged out, so he got denied there. A couple of denies for Blue. Might make it a bit difficult for him.
The winner of this game goes into the final.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll be fighting hard for it. So VDuck looks like he's sitting up at that back door there too.
And the rest
Got easy points sitting under there.
We only got like sort of 1,700 points between. Oh, not even. Like it's like a K between all 3 teams, man. This is such a good game.
It's so close.
It's one of those games that would be terrible to watch when you just had the cameras, right?
Yeah, it would
And
be,
it's
because you can't
but
see anybody in the
nice take by
camera.
Twinkles. But with this map, it is so fun to watch. I just can't take my eyes off just what like players are doing.
Arrow's going for it. Arrow got
They're
denied
all
there.
denied.
That'll be good for Legalize. That'll be a really good deny for Legalize.
The Hobart Devils put themselves in it. They've basically been losing the entire game.
Twinkles
Yeah,
got
they've got 2
real
bases
quick.
and caught back up. That's all that's in it is the base.
Lit's about to get their base.
Green's got another one, yeah.
They put themselves back in that 1k
Back
difference.
up.
Good game, you know.
Go Lit!
Oh,
Go
so
Lit!
close. Oh, VDuck's gone for. Did he get it?
No
he
bias. But
Denials are going to come into play here, I think. I
Oh,
just feel like a
so many
denial's going to come.
denials.
Yeah, a denial's going to separate this game.
Just denials are going to be hard for Legalize, yeah.
come down to the final minute. Any base can change the swing of this, and I think it's really going to come down to like this final base takes.
Yeah. Who gets
Right
next
now.
base and goes home? Green are looking pretty good. Lit pushing on Blue pretty
Yeah,
hard.
Ace.
Sure,
Ace
Ace,
going
Ace,
for
Feels up,
Ace.
feels up.
Oh, no
Feel.
chance. Oh,
Oh, he got it.
he got it!
Oh, Phil just missed
That
out
was
on the
huge.
deny.
That was huge. So green base is up. Something could happen. Blue are out of it. They need to go and attack right now.
They need like 2 bases
They're attacking both bases.
now.
No,
I think
okay.
I think they're coming over. I think they're coming over. Phil's coming over.
They've definitely made the call to leave and try and get something going.
Yeah. Too little, too
Right.
late. Lit come through from the
It
bottom.
looks like-
seed.
Who's taking that? Grudy's taking
Green,
the empty blue
OP.
now. He gets another base right at the end of the game.
Oh, Rudy.
Grudy with that last minute base there.
Didn't want a negative score that they had before they got that base. So I think they got a lot of tags. So it popped up real quick. But yeah. No, great game actually. That was really
That's
awesome.
good.
Well played to Lit. Coming through from the bottom seed, taking the last colour choice out of green as well. Nice pick, Method.
Yeah, good pick as well, Ivo.
Thanks, mate. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate. Maybe
I
we
think you
do
might
know a thing or two.
Yeah.
Maybe we know a thing or two.
we only know the top end, I guess.
Yeah.
I know.
I said I
would like
I
to
see
win
Ace,
game.
Skinny, and Goofy on. Grudy on. Ace, Skinny, and Arrow on a team. They're gonna win.
Exactly. I know those names. That was an
but
awesome game.
I'm just
Like,
saying, I'm not surprised to see it, and I do feel like we could see a swing in the finals where green becomes not as bad. I'm not saying it's going to be the best, but
Like it's
feel
not
like-
awful.
yeah,
No,
I feel like
it's not unplayable.
in the finals, green's going to be better than it was in the round robin.
And it also becomes
Yeah.
like a game of it's not like you got to win this game now. You can play green if you really think it's that bad. We're just going to minimize our loss.
Yeah, just don't lose too hard.
Do we
Just
know if
don't
this
lose
is
too
average score or victory points? I
bad.
assume. What do you know?
It's
what
been
you normally
average
play?
score for the rest of the competition, I think.
But yeah, I guess it depends.
Yeah,
'Cause I
the
think
grand final.
World's format is, I don't know. I got no idea. I can't keep up.
I think
Yeah.
for the other formats, it's been average score.
It's one of those funny laser tag things, right? So we play a round robin and it's victory points. And then we play this like Ascension with double knockouts where it's like you just need to win the game.
You
If
just
you
need
win
to
by
win.
1 point, that's fine.
This
And then we go into a grand final where it's like
go back
now
to
it's back
average
to average
score.
score.
That is actually pretty funny when you put it
Just
like
don't lose too hard. Like
Just don't. Yeah. Just
that. Yeah.
like second every game.
It's like 3 different strategies for the same comp.
yeah. And then in the games where you have to win, you get the least amount of time to prepare. Logic.
Cyrix says it's average score.
Yeah, it's usually average score, but sometimes people like to try victory points and stuff in these comps, and there's honestly a good argument for both, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So average score, like, it's like over a 3-game span, who scored the most points, right? Kind of makes sense at face value. Though it's not really a 26-minute game because you can only score 10 bases per, in the first 12 minutes, second 12 minutes, third 12 minutes.
Mm.
So it's not really like that. But then average score also in a tight game where a team wins by 5k when the average score is only 10k doesn't matter as much as a 50k average score. So there's definitely arguments. And I mean, that conversation's been had for forever, right?
Yeah.
Just
And
win. If you just win 3 games of laser tag, you won, and no one can argue.
There's those random nationals
true.
that people are like, they would have won on victory points, but it's on average score. And it's like, yeah, it's just kind of frustrating, I guess.
Mm. What about score ratio?
Yeah, I like score ratio.
Score ratio is not bad.
I like score ratio, but anyway, this is a debate that I've had too many times.
Cyrix points out if you go off victory points, then a team can go into game 3 knowing they have no chance and screw a team over.
That's true. Well, but so in the finals
I
of
mean, it's the
these
same for average
invites,
score, isn't it? Really?
Yep. For the finals for invites, you play the 3 games, but you don't get to see the scores, so you don't know for sure if you won or not. But you can kind of, if your game sense is good, you can kind of get a feel for who's doing well and kind of work it out that way. But these players won't be able to see the scores of the games until after all 3 games have been played.
Yeah, that's a really good point. When you go into a grand final, and some people watching might not know this, you have no idea how the game's going. Usually you're locked in the arena, and you only have breaks in the arena or like a separate area that's
You
just barred off from
basically
anyone.
You go into the pack room, and then you can leave drink bottles in there, but you're not allowed your phone in there because somebody will be like, "Oh, you won that game," and text you or whatever.
Yeah, so
But
it's completely shut off.
You completely locked in.
It does impact the game though, because I've been in a situation where we knew that, we felt confident that if we didn't lose by a lot, we would win. So we adjusted the strategy to not lose by a lot.
Yeah.
So if the aim of the game is to win, well, I've played a game where it was like, we don't need to win. We just need to not lose hard. And that, generated a Nationals victory. So I get arguments either way, because I feel like you should play every game to win.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably no right answer, but, that's why I like having the worst color in the arena first when I play a best of 3. Because usually the first game in the grand final is the most defensive. Everyone's
because
kind of
everyone's
feeling each
like,
other
"Alright,
out.
this is the finals. Let's bring out a game.
Yeah.
Let's stop
ends up
people
being
from
worth
getting
less.
bases."
Yeah.
And then teams get desperate and they start making plays to try and win because it's average score.
Yeah.
They actually go for some more
go out
extreme
looking for
things.
points.
If that makes sense. So it's an interesting little argument.
Yeah. And you're right, Cyrix. The good players and teams can tell how well they do, but when it's a close game, it's harder to tell if it's like you're doing equally as well. It's really hard to tell if who won or not, who squeaked above. But if it is average score, then you could
Especially in this
probably
like
tell you're doing
handicapped
about
league,
the
right?
same. Yeah,
It's hard to know, even if you're one of the good players, like your other players, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, kind of don't have as much info as you have. Like the best teams at nationals,
yeah.
every player has like a very good reading of the
Like
game and
Yeah,
their
every player knows
situation.
what's going on, but with the
100%.
cap, you've always got newer people in there who don't have quite a good as game sense and are just not quite sure what's going on.
Just win every game.
Yeah, good way.
just win.
You know, just
Sounds
win.
like something
Good.
Wolfpack would say.
Yeah,
just win.
You guys are thinking about it too hard.
Win all the game. Shoot all the people. Don't get shot. Get lots of bases. Don't concede many, and you'll get lots of trophies.
You're good.
Yes, just be better at shooting people than
Just be better.
everyone. It's pretty good. Good strat. Gets the job done.
Simple.
So I guess while we wait, we
looks
do
like
actually
they've,
have the colours.
Yeah, we've got the colours now, just see.
And I'm not sure if they got to pick like the normal nationals or what, but
think
you
they
think
get
so?
the first team gets to pick the first one, and then it's just a rotation from there. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't really matter.
The one team's finals I was in, I was seeded third place anyway, so we never got a choice.
Get what you're given, yeah.
Yeah, get what we're given. But you all have to it sort of equalizes it out when you all have to play at each base.
Sorta. It actually
It-
really
it-
matters. The color
It
order
doesn't.
matters
It
a lot.
doesn't because some bases are better at a low scoring game, and some bases are better in a high scoring game.
Yeah,
and in
that's
the
true.
average score final, the high base game is worth more.
And I know
Yeah.
something that you like to preach a lot, Ibos, because in a finals, there's actually 6 different color variations you could have with the teams.
That's
and
true.
you might want to verse a certain team on green when you're red.
Yep, I think that's true, yeah.
So there's quite a bit of like strategy behind the color choice and what you'd like.
I suspect
on that note,
Froggerty did pick red because it looks like red has been picked first every time almost, except for one game.
yeah,
Red
and I
was
find that
picked
really
first, but
interesting personally.
Looks like red has been chosen as the
the
first
best
one.
color.
Yeah, red is the best base apparently. It's been picked every time.
Yeah, I just don't like picking your best color first in the grand final.
Maybe they want to have a good start, and if you have a good game, first game, you feel good, you do better in next games.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I don't really feel like there is a best color in this arena, so
No, depends on how you play it, but
it's just play.
yeah.
Maybe you want to be in green when it gets really busy at the end and everyone's dumping and stuff, because teams are doing anything they can to give themselves a chance to win. Usually that ends up with a lot of dumps. Be interesting. Because yeah, so the first game we're going to have Tragedy on red, the Hobart Swipers on blue, and Lit playing out at green. I'm not sure when it's going to start.
I imagine they're probably giving a briefing, because there'll be some players who have never made it to finals before.
So I think, are we a bit ahead of schedule?
Let's have a look at the schedule.
Yeah, we are.
So might be having a wee rest before.
Surprised we're ahead of schedule with a pause
we
as
ahead of
well.
schedule?
That's pretty impressive.
His
I think
team
so.
grand finals are supposed to start at 10:30.
Oh, we're behind.
it's-
Oh
and
no,
it's
it's not 3
10:54.
hours. It's 4 hours for me.
Yeah.
I did it again. Okay.
That's
Good. That
right.
makes more sense. I was so confused.
Let the person with the actual local time figure it out.
Okay, so I guess while we wait, let's talk about the potential disadvantage of this final system for the top seeded team, whose first game of the night is a grand final game. Do you want to be rested, or do you want to get a couple of warm up games?
I'd want to have warm up games, I think.
Right.
I think
Because you can definitely come in rusty.
it depends on the
despite having
competition, right?
Yeah, it does. They all would have had a full game of playing yesterday.
For a weekend
then-
comp with no cascades, it's just been a round robin, I'd want to be playing the golden games. I want to be getting battle tested and have won a game before coming to the grand final against the top teams, which you might not have because there's no cascade. At a nationals, if I was straight to the finals, I'd be loving life because you've had 2 cascades and a round robin and a week and a half, 2 weeks in the arena.
Oh, yeah.
So really, I guess that's my kind of thought process on it. But
The Tragedy of Hamlet have only played 2 games today.
that might be actually a benefit because
So that may
all
or
the
may
other
not,
teams have played round robin games and this.
and the Cascade, so they might be a little bit tired. Although Let would probably be fine. They had a 2-game break. Hobart, Swipers have played the last 2. No, they've played 1.
I feel like they'll all be
then-
pretty decently
Yeah,
rested.
they
right?
might not be too tired. It's not like the dysfunctional playing however many games in a row, 3.
I guess
What's your take on it, Ivo?
Yeah, it's tough. I think it depends on the situation. Like, so if you feel like you've got something up your sleeve, you'd be stoked to not have to show that in an Ascension system. And you're kind of the X factor, right? Like, people don't know what you're going to do.
Don't know what you're going to pull out.
If you've got the opportunity to just play lore amongst yourselves for 10 minutes beforehand, you
To warm up.
Yeah, you can sharpen your timing, you can warm up, you can get that feel for it. It's tough. I'm a big fan of playing a couple of games. Like, I'd like to play. I'd like to play 2 or 3 games before a grand final series against good teams just to, like,
See where they're at.
get you sharp.
I'm with you there. I would like to have a few games warm up at least, just to see where all the good players, what the good teams are at. Just sort of get a good feel for how to get around them.
But if I'm a dominant home team, nah. I'll see you in the final.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me hear you say, get louder.